Well, I currently work for Littleton Fire, which is a fire department just south of Denver. We currently have 9 stations. Because we're firefighters, we do a whole bunch of different things. So anywhere from running EMS calls, which is most of what we do, usually about 80%, to structure fires, which is maybe 5 or 10%, and then everything in between, which is water calls, stub tows, sick people. As an engineer, I'd come in and check over my rig, make sure it's working properly, put it in gear, make sure it's pumping water, make sure all the equipment's there, tires are good. And then firefighter and captain are kind of help me do the same thing since it's kind of a big rig. The guys on the medic, if you're on there, they're doing the same thing, running through, making sure all the equipment's there. My current co-workers would be Captain Rath, and then I'm typically the lieutenant on the medic, and then Ryan Fidel, who's my driver, and then Kendra Keeley, who's riding backwards on the engine. So Captain Rath's kind of in charge of the entire crew. He's the guy who's in charge on all structure fires, all auto accidents, gas leaks, that kind of stuff. Kent, who's the driver, and he's in charge of basically just getting the engine from one place to the other. So his job is to make it as safe as possible. And then once we're there, that rig is kind of his baby, so he's parking to make sure that the scene is safe. Okay. He's pumping water to anybody who needs it inside if we have a structure fire. And then Kendra, who's riding backwards on the engine, her job is all kind of like the grunt work. So she's pulling hoses, she's doing anything from IVs to breaking windows to any kind of fire stuff that she would have to do. I would be the lieutenant typically. I'm kind of in charge when it comes to medical calls. So anything that I need done safety-wise, I can ask the engine guys to get that stuff done. But overall, my whole job on a medical call is to make sure that the patient's best interest is in mind and that we're getting them where they need to go quickly. It's probably one of the few jobs that I think right now we can basically sit in any seat. Kind of the higher that you go, the less maybe females that you see doing some of those jobs. Mm-hmm. But definitely anywhere in the field, for the most part, it's straight across the board what they're doing, I'm doing. So medical calls, we try to have our patient's best interest in mind. So if it's a little bit of a serious call and let's say they're having some kind of a cardiac event, typically what we try to do is have the guys take care of the guys when it comes to possible like genitalia kind of stuff, or when it comes to females, like putting on like the EKG pads that go on their chest, try to make sure that if we have a female there to take care of some of that stuff. Some patients don't respond well to guys, and some patients don't respond well to women, and so we try to kind of help each other out when we see that, and we'll kind of step in and help out. So it's hard when you're issued men's boots, men's pants, men's shirts, men's gloves, men's everything, and you're expected to have that stuff work well for you. So small story, was on probation at my last department, and they had these new EMS jackets that they had gotten everybody. And the sizes that they had were men's large, extra large, and double extra large. And so I come in and, Chief's super happy, he's really excited about it. We're trying on these jackets, and I put this jacket on, and I mean, there's 6 inches on either sleeve, right? I mean, it's huge. And I'm trying not to say anything, I'm on probation, I'm brand new, I'm trying to keep my mouth quiet. And he's like, I'm so excited about this. Are you going to order one? And I was like, no, sir, I don't think I'm going to. He's like, well, how come? He's like, yeah, these are great, these are going to be awesome. And I'm like, sir, they don't fit. I don't know if there's any way that I could possibly get, a ladies' jacket. And his comment was, if you wanted to wear women's clothing, you shouldn't have been a fireman. A gentleman who felt like I definitely probably shouldn't be there, just from the way that they were raised and the things that they believed. A lot of the older gentlemen kind of stepped in front of me when it comes to picking up heavy patients, to flat out telling me that I shouldn't be there. And I've seen a lot less of that with a lot of the younger guys who are kind of the same age as me, who kind of have grown up with women doing more than just being at home.